Hello and welcome back to LAT TV, and today, welcome to Madeira. So yes, as I say, welcome to Madeira and welcome to my hub for the next 2 or so weeks for creating all this content of Funchal. So a little bit about Funchal then. Funchal is the capital of Madeira, and Madeira is an island in the North Atlantic Ocean owned by Portugal. So as you can see behind me, we have Funchal's harbour, and over in that direction we have the Atlantic Ocean. And in today's video I'm going to be having a little look around Funchal and taking you guys with me as I start this Madeiran adventure series. Hopefully you guys have seen my last set of videos from Monaco. If you haven't, you can click the little eye in the top corner now to be able to view that content, and there'll also be a pop-up of my overall experience video in the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. If you're new around here, my name is Luke, or LAT TV, and I make videos about my travel life around the world and in the UK, especially in and around London. So come with me as we explore Funchal.
I got so much more. Don't give me I got so much more to give. Don't leave me alone. So much more to give you. Don't leave me alone. I got so much more to give. Don't leave me alone.
So I've made my way down to the main harbour then here in Funchal, and I'll go on to saying why it's the main harbour in a few seconds. But first I want to just note something that you would have seen. So I made my way down from the cliff face through the gardens, past the Pastana CR7 hotel, which is named after the great man, or self-proclaimed great man, Cristiano CR7 Ronaldo, and his hotel, he claims, is a lifestyle hotel. You take from that what you will, I suppose. And it also houses his own museum here, the CR7 Museum, and that contains all of his personal accolades that he has won throughout his prestigious career, as well as the individual trophies and the team trophies that he has won, with the Champions League trophies that he's won, as well as the European Championships for Portugal, and most recently the UEFA Nations League. So if you didn't know, Cristiano is actually from Madeira, and Funchal in particular, and I think we can agree that he's probably the island's most well-known export. Other than that, for export, their main other export is the fishing trade. And although this harbour may not show that fishing is so prominent on the island, with a few fairly decent-sized boats, I suppose, unless you're comparing it to Monte Carlo, that fishing is obviously a main port of money and income, and particular black scabbard fish, which is a fish that can be found between 700 and 1 kilometre below the sea, out towards the back of me in the Atlantic Ocean. Now, other than black scabbard, there is obviously the other things like Atlantic salmon and tuna, which are also prominent fishes that they eat here in Madeira, and I'm sure I would have put some images of some of those over the top of this. But I'm also going to now get on to why this is in the main harbour. So a few years ago, they spotted that tourists were enjoying seeing dolphins, which live about 3 miles in that direction around the coast of Madeira. So they built a second marina which houses catamarans, for which you can go on an excursion for about 3 hours and go and see dolphins. And I'm sure that is an excursion which I will be doing and will feature in a future video and episode of this Madeira series. So now I'm going to continue along the coastline here and feature some more images and pictures and content, B-roll I suppose, that I see from the front of this coastline, and then I'll make my way into the old town which houses the cathedral.
We were both young and sure. No, we're not, no, we're not. What did I say you should worry about? You should worry about all of me. What did I say you should care about? You should care about what you see.
So after a quick lunch stop then at the Grand Cafe Funchal, I've made my way into the heart of the old town, which, as with usual, dates back to around about the 15th century. Now Funchal and Madeira in general hasn't always been a Portuguese island, and has been an island that the French have commonly tried to invade, but as I say, it is now solely a Portuguese island and territory for the Portuguese here in the North Atlantic Ocean. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time walking around the streets of the old town, and as you can hear, there is still some activity on today, even though today is a Sunday. So there is some activity, and let's have a look what's going on in the old town of Funchal.
Oh no, I gave my heart away, went a bit too far, so wrong. Oh no, open up my soul, but babe, how could I know you're cold? Shame on you, should have seen what you were like, dangerously nice. You got me all lost, so blinded. You got me all lost, listen to my heart. I gotta be lost, survived it. Now you're all gone, my friend.
So I've ventured from the old town then, and I've come into one of the most famous streets, I suppose you would say, of Funchal. And the best way that I can describe it is, it's almost like it has a Covent Garden-y type of feel, or Las Ramblas in Barcelona, and please correct me in the comments if I've pronounced that wrong. I'm sure I probably have. But with this being a Sunday, it's not very bustly, because all the shops are shut, as is the market on the way down there. So what I'm going to do in the next B-roll section is insert some clips that I would have filmed after this video on a different day of some of these other parts of Funchal, because one of the upsides to being able to film on a Sunday is there's not many people around, but sometimes for shots like this I think you need lots of people around, and the fact that the market is closed, and that's something that I'm sure would be a sight to behold. So what I'll do is I'll insert some clips now for you of the market and this area when it's a little bit more hustly and bustly, if that's actually a phrase, but who knows. And what I'll do is I'm going to go and make my way over to the cable car.
I guess you fooled me once, but I ain't falling twice. All lies. Oh Lord, I ain't gonna run. My rise has just begun. I'll shine. Shame on you. Should have seen what you were like. Dangerously nice. You got me all lost, so blind. You got me all lost, listen to my heart. I gotta be lost, survived it. Now you're all gone, my friend. Big girls will come around. I'm still walking, I'm still proud. I never lost it, I never lost it, I never lost it, baby. Big girls will come around. I'm still walking, I'm still proud. I never lost it, I never lost it.
So then I've stopped at the cable car just to explain a little bit about what it is, and also to say that there will be more content coming hopefully very, very soon. In fact, the next video I'm hoping is going to be involving this very thing behind me that's about to go over my head, literally in a few seconds time, because at the very, very top is a little town called Monte, and that contains the island's botanical gardens. So I'm hoping that in the next video, if you've seen my Monaco content, you'll know my mother. I'm going to be doing a second episode of Travels with my mother by taking this very cable car all the way to the top of that mountain or cliff or hill, which apparently is nearly 1,500 metres above sea level. So hopefully that's what I'm going to do in the next video. So what I'm going to do is, because it's a little bit noisy here, I'm going to go find somewhere a little bit more quiet to end this video and have a little chat to you guys about what I've found in my time walking around Funchal for the first time. So some overall observations then as I sit on the promenade here with the Atlantic Ocean behind me. What have I kind of deduced from my first time here in Funchal? There's a hell of a lot of flags. They are extremely patriotic, and what you can tell is they are very, very strongly in love with the fact that they're Portuguese. There's a very strong sense of community amongst the fact that they are from Madeira, also part of Portugal itself. Another thing that I've noticed is me pointing a camera at myself as I've been going around and filming shots, B-roll and things like that, seems to be something that's obsolete for many of them. I get a lot of staring and a lot of wonder as to what I'm doing pointing a camera around like this and getting all these different angles and so forth. They really don't kind of understand what's going on. I mean, I'm sure there are Portuguese YouTubers out there that do this on a daily basis, but I certainly think that I stood out as someone that's not from Madeira or Portugal in general. Basically, I've shown today that I am solely a tourist. And the final observation, I suppose, is it's so incredible, I think, to come to a place that seems so calm and still. Well, yes, I know I am filming this on a Sunday, and a lot of people would stay in or be going to church on a Sunday, but I have been here for a few days before filming this video, getting my bearings and so forth, and learning some of the facts that found themselves into this video. But there is a sense of calmness, and this seems to be a place to me where tourism is ready. As a city, they're ready for tourism, but there is still this sense that tourism probably hasn't quite come yet. There's a lot of restaurants, for example, that have barely anybody at, and that isn't just today because it's a Sunday. That's a general observation for my whole time here so far. So what is next for this Madeira series? As I've said, if you want to see me go up to the top of the mountain, which is something I really want to do, then obviously drop a like on this video, and hopefully my mum is going to come in that video as well. So what do I suggest then? Well, the best way to keep up to date with all this Madeiran content is obviously subscribe if you haven't already, and smash that notifications bell for future episodes as to when these go live. And all that remains for me to do is thank you guys for watching, and from Portugal and Madeira, obrigado, which is the only Portuguese word I've learnt, which is thank you, and I will see you guys next time here on LATTV, and goodbye.